What actually inspired me to start Endeavour was, my girlfriend and I were on a trip up north, and we were looking and looking and looking for the right place to stay, and we just couldn't find something that fit our needs perfectly. Every time we went up there, it was either we're staying in an overpriced, kind of undervalued hotel room, or we're staying in a very expensive cabin. There really wasn't much in between. I was driving home, and I just kept on, thinking to myself, like, what would I want? What is the perfect spot? The wheels started turning, and I started kind of crafting this concept of a tiny house, because it does perfectly blur that line between, I'm a camper. She wasn't a camper. She doesn't want to sleep on the ground. So the idea that I want to camp, she doesn't want to camp, this is the perfect way for us both to get our way. And combining those two things is something that's really never been done, especially in Minnesota, and I think it's about time it does. I'm Tyler. I'm 24 years old from Minneapolis. Been going up north for the longest time, and my family always, whether it been camping, skiing, hiking on the North Shore area, we've always wanted to spend time outside. Spending a lot of time at Tetegucci in particular, Lutsen, all these different places, and it's always just kind of held kind of a special place in my heart. Kind of growing up, I started realizing I wasn't getting outside as much as I would like to. I wasn't spending the time in nature I did as a kid. And what I kind of came to the conclusion of is that, I wasn't camping because, number one, I was either living in dorms or I was living in apartments and stuff like that. I didn't have the space for camping gear. I didn't have, the time commitment to go out and spend the money it needed to go do all these camping trips that I had in the back of my head but never really executed. When I came up with this idea, it was more along the lines of I wanted to kind of create a space that was perfect for people to be able to get out and have the freedom and the flexibility and the kind of the experience of camping, but not have to rely on all the gear, stowing away all the gear and having to deal with sleeping on the ground. Comfort's still important. Even if you want to get outside, you still want to be comfortable, you still want to have the amenities. Having access to internet, having access to my music, and all these different things, make a difference. So creating a space that's not only in nature, but also makes it comfortable and makes it still feel like home. So I think that's what really sets Endeavour apart, is it feels like home. Yeah, our tiny home is fantastic. It's built right in Wisconsin. I've visited the manufacturing facility before. When I was looking, I did research for months on which home was going to be perfect for this project. When you think tiny home, you're wondering, is it going to be small? Is it going to feel like I don't have any headroom? These are 14 feet tall. So you walk into a vaulted ceiling, and it's something, when I went in it for the first time, it blew me away, because I had done the research, but I didn't set foot in one, and until I did, I didn't really understand how big these actually feel, Sure, you're talking about like 300 square feet, but when you walk into a 14-foot vaulted ceiling, that's more than twice the size of me. So, I'm looking over, one of the bedrooms is lofted. That's gonna fit a queen-size bed on it. So you're gonna have a lofted bedroom on top that sleeps two, and then you're also gonna have a living space below that loft that's also gonna sleep another two. So that'll be like a living area, and we have a really cool convertible couch that's gonna move really, really easily from a queen-size bed right into a couch. And there's gonna be a TV in there. You're gonna have access to your streaming services that you wanna have. So, in case it does rain, you do have access to all that stuff. You have, there's plenty to do regardless. You're gonna have a full-size bathroom, shower, toilet, sink, the whole nine. And then there's also gonna be a kitchen in there. So though it's a small home, it has all the essentials that you need, and it's gonna very, very comfortably sleep 4 people. The kitchen is gonna have a 2-burner stove on top. It'll have a refrigerator. It'll have a full-size sink, plenty of shelving for anything that you bring to cook or eat during the time that you're there. On top of that, the windows on this thing are just expansive, to say the least. The main window in the main living space is 7 feet by 7 feet. It's a big square window that lets in a ton of natural light. And the cool thing is that it's gonna be facing Lake Superior. So when you wake up in the morning, it'll just be a 7 by 7 window. Lake Superior is right there. It's really hard to beat. What sets Endeavour apart from just your typical hotel on the North Shore, you really have free reign of this spot. This is your little spot. You can have your campfire, you can have your grill, everything's private. That's, compared to doing some, 2 queen bed suite at an American, it's just, not the same. You know, this is something that's going to be completely different from that. And the best part is that it's going to be at that similar price point. So not only are you getting so much more, but it's going to be at a price point that's comparable with your typical motel in the area. You know, I have the home, I have the land, you know, everything is in place. It's just I need the finishing touches. I want to be able to have awesome furniture. I want to be able to have outdoor living space. I want to be able to put a deck on this thing. I want to be able to put the extra effort to make this thing extra special. That's why I need your help, is because I have all the basics and all the essentials in place, but now I want to take it to the next level and make it something that's, you know, not just a tiny home on a lot in the woods, but something that's really, really special. The contributions from our Indiegogo campaign are going to go directly into landscaping, being able to level out the lot, put a deck on the property so that there's this place where you can enjoy breakfast or coffee in the morning while overlooking Lake Superior. We're going to use it for furniture, making sure that, you know, everything that we have is the highest quality that we can, making sure that all the little pieces and little details that we're going to put into this home are going to be perfect for what you're looking for. You know, we don't want to skimp on this. We want it to be perfect. I just need a little bit of extra capital to be able to make this something that is truly remarkable. For those who choose to support our Indiegogo campaign, we have a variety of awesome perks ranging anywhere from chances to win free nights all the way up to, for people who are more eager to stay with us, we have discounted rates and advanced booking. Yeah, so I mean, within an hour, there's so many things to do. Within 5 minutes, you have one of the most prized state parks in Minnesota, being Chattahoochee, and our property is literally across the street. Chattahoochee is absolutely beautiful. Waterfalls, miles of hiking trails, tons of Lake Superior shore, cliff faces. There's just the hiking. It's one of those things where you walk out and you see some of these sights, and it literally takes your breath away. If you haven't seen it yet, you have to in your lifetime. I mean, this is right in our backyard. You know, this is something that every Minnesotan should experience. And people who have experienced it keep coming back because they know just how incredible that is. So Chattahoochee is one of these spots. Tons of hiking, snowshoeing, whatever it might be. Bring your dog with. Dogs love to hike the trails of Chattahoochee. Huge visitor center with all the information you could ever need. Not to mention, about 20 minutes south of our property is going to be Gooseberry. And Gooseberry is famous for their waterfalls. So huge waterfalls crashing down, tons of hiking trails, really easy hiking too. To get to the falls, it's probably about a 5-minute hike on a paved path. If you want to go deeper, you can, but it's really fantastic. You know, Split Rock Lighthouse is a famous landmark in Minnesota. If you haven't seen it, you have to go there. And that's going to be within a half hour of us too. Now, if you're willing to go a little bit farther than a half hour, I mean, now we're talking, you have Ely with the International Wolf Center. If you're a wildlife lover, that's a place that you got to check out. You can go up to Grand Marais, tons of award-winning restaurants. There's breweries, there's golf courses, there's tons of activities. And then the main thing though is just the sightseeing, the getting some fresh air, the getting back out into nature, the kind of disconnecting from your day-to-day grind. And you know, I think that's really important for not only your mental health, but your physical health too. Just really kind of getting back out and experiencing and kind of getting immersed into just appreciating how beautiful it is. You know, getting out in nature is more important than it's ever been. You know, it's incredible what just a simple weekend in the woods can do for your mind and just helping put everything back in perspective. You know, I honestly can't even explain how grateful I am. You know, I've seen support for this project since I even first brought it up to friends and family. So the fact that people are willing to support, you know, my goal, my dream, because they believe in it too, is something that I can't even put into words how appreciative I am. I'm excited to deliver a new experience for people. You know, the North Shore has so much to offer. There's so much natural beauty. There's so much to look at. And it's so important for people to get out and see that, especially when it's in your own backyard here in Minnesota. We're just excited to get new people who may have never been there up there, or people that already love the area, to experience it in a whole new way. For people that want to learn more about Endeavour Tiny House Retreats, you feel free to visit us online at endeavortinyhomes.com or visit any of our social platforms. We're constantly posting on there. And best way to keep up to date would be to subscribe to our newsletter. That can be done on our website as well.